What's up guys, welcome back for another Yugioh Pro Duel video. The new Evil Eye, the new Evil Eye cards have been revealed. I think we can still expect more cards to be revealed. I think not really sure about this, at least I heard. I think we could expect at least one extra monster here. I mean, the archetype is, with this current wave of support, it feels very similar to Magical Musketeers, magic bullets, Magical Musketeers, since it's very vulnerable, or it's heavily relying on its normal summon to go through. So again, very similar to Magical Musketeers and Invoked, since, well, there are a lot of similarities between a couple of decks we already know. Both level 4 monsters activate upon normal summon. The best one is their quote-unquote Stratos to fetch something from the deck. The key card here, as you see here, is Selene, I believe the name is. It was the first spell card, I believe, that was revealed from the Evil Eye card, or at least from the Evil Eye archetype equip card. And then, you can just equip it to any of your Evil Eye monsters, and then they'll get the beneficial effects. And it will give them like the Magia Spectre treatment. They cannot be targeted, cannot be destroyed by battle here in this situation. Medusa, the other level 4, gets something back from your graveyard when equipped with your equipped Selene. The level 3 has the built-in Cyber Dragon effect and also a built-in Foolish Burial of Goods effect. The field spell is fantastic, works very similar like Invocation, activate and then search like well, not an invoked monster, but, an Evil Eye monster from your deck, so it's a superb field spell. The deck has their own hero lifts as well, but again, you will only get those beneficial effects if there is a Selene, your equip, on your side of the field active and equipped to any of your Evil Eye monsters. The deck has an Infernity Barrier-like card, but yeah, only negating spells and traps. It also has a double compulse, in its archetype, but, yeah, that's pretty much it. They also have a Link monster, but for now it doesn't really seem that strong or too worth it. It's very similar to Salamangreats. When Salamangreats were first released with I believe their Link 3 was released first, and then we were all like, man, that sucks, that card is terrible, why should we play that, right? But again, it might make sense if we get more support. The archetype, how it is now, it's again, I believe it has a huge flaw, it's now, and again, possible future support might solve this, but as I mentioned before, the archetype is heavily relying on its normal summon, so very similar to Magical Musketeers before this, is that as soon as you normal summon, you can get those search or add effects from both of your level 4 monsters, either, well, the best one, I forgot its name, it's like the Stratos of the deck, but it only triggers upon normal summon. That's the guy or the girl here. I'm not going to butcher the name right, but just most of the time you'll be searching your Selene, the equip card. The nifty thing here is that your equip card also has a grave effect, that if it's in your graveyard, you can banish another Evil Eye card from your graveyard, or another card. It needs to be an Evil Eye card, and then you can just set it directly from your graveyard. So I believe just making 2 copies of it is just fine, since you can just easily get it back from your graveyard. Another thing here is that, was it this duel, or it's a duel that's definitely, it's not this one, but you will see it in one of the duels here, is that playing this deck does have some built-in life point costs, as in this face-up continuous spell Selene. Every time you'll be losing 500 life points, even when that counts during both players' turns, as soon or when you use like an Evil Eye monster effect, or if you activate an Evil Eye card, a spell or trap. Every time you'll be losing 500 life points, but then that particular monster where your Selene equip card is equipped to will gain 500 attack points. So, but still, as you'll be seeing in a couple of moments, is that you have to keep track of your life points. It feels very similar to another deck, DDDs, back in the early days when DDDs were first released, with the Covenant cards. The Covenant cards, back then I believe it's Leonidas, right? That gives you the potential life point gain. So it's very similar to DDDs, that is you have to keep track, or it was Oracle, I believe, their fusion that turned the damage into LP gain. So hopefully they'll be getting something like this, like a Link monster, a Link 2 maybe? yeah, they definitely lack a good Link monster, Link 1, Link 2, to gain some life points. That would definitely help or be beneficial for the archetype here. This is quite dangerous, having both, or at least having 2 Selene phase up on the field, making sure you can go for game right, thanks to the extra attack boost, but it's very dangerous to leave double Selene on the field, you know, because of the life point cost. Going first this time, so it's for now the deck is quite stunnish, and that's why, well, Pot of Duality can definitely be in the main deck, but the only pot that I'm running is Pot of Indulgence, a new pot, since the extra deck for now isn't really too important, since, I mean, you're not really using your extra deck, bar maybe the Link 2 of your Witchling, your wee witch, right? Which wasn't in the duel. I believe it was in one of the first duels where I went for Phoenix instead of Witchling. Because it wasn't in there. That's the simple explanation, right? So going first this time, Metaverse, I think it's fine. Metaverse can be important, and that's something that I haven't mentioned yet, is as soon as you use your Evil Eye monsters effects, like the level 4 here, the Stratos can destroy, when it's equipped with Selene, destroy a special summoned monster from your opponent. That works once per turn, but the small downside of this is as soon as you use that popping effect during the next standby phase, and that counts during either your opponent's turn or during your own turn, if you use that popping effect of your level 4, you have to pop one of your own cards during the next standby phase. So you can somewhat solve this by popping, let's say, the field spell. Their own field spell triggers when destroyed by a card effect of getting back a monster from your graveyard, and that monster needs to be an Evil Eye. So I guess that's fine. You can definitely pop your own field spell, or pop like an extra Selene or something like that, or maybe a set Metaverse, and then, you know, you can just chain it. So you have to keep track of those small restrictions of this archetype. So for now, the archetype is very slow. It's very reliant on your normal summon, and of course getting the effect off, yeah, the second big problem is that it's of course super reliant on the equip spell. I mean, the 2 weaknesses being very reliant on the normal summon, and the fact that you have to keep the equip spell equipped is quite a huge problem currently, since it's not that consistent. And here during the previous duel I lost, because, well, it was inevitable, and my opponent knew that it wasn't inevitable that I would lose the 500 life, my last 500 life points during my next standby phase, because I used Medusa's effect of banishing something from the graveyard. So it's again quite dangerous. I mean, I think I went from 5,000 life points to like 500 life points in like one whole turn. So again, that's something to keep in mind. So something like a Link 2 or a Link 1 or a Link monster, or maybe a continuous spell or whatever, gaining some extra life points in favor of a themed, a themed Evil Eye card, that is. And this, yep, indeed one of the duels I went for Phoenix. Witchling wasn't in the extra deck. Of course, Witchling would have been the superior option, not giving the opponent the extra monster zone. But again, simple explanation, it wasn't in there. The cool part here is, again, just, you know, your level 4 just keeps getting the extra attack boost every time, increasing its attack by 500 as soon as you either use her effect of popping something from your opponent, destroying something from your opponent, or activating an Evil Eye spell or trap, right? So, I guess that's cool. And here in this situation, revealing the impermanence, and that's game, since I can just pop his Thunder Dragon now. So this is obviously not able to use the effect. Last example, Cyber Dragons going second this time. Using both hand traps, okay, the opponent is able to end with Infinity. I guess it's fine. Trying the... this was a good top deck, I needed that one. It's very similar to Invoked. I mean, you're heavily relying on Alistair, the normal summon of Alistair, to get your engine rolling. It's very similar. So normal summoning the quote-unquote Stratos using the hero lives, it only gets the hero lives, otherwise it's like a monster reborn, right? But it gets the hero lives effect as soon as Selene, your equip spell, is equipped on the field, or is at least phased up on the field. Hero lives for the level 3. Level 3 is basically a graveyard fueler, to like a good once per turn foolish burial of goods, I guess. You know, fueling your potential revives or getting back your Selene. So again, that's something to keep in mind. And we might see something in the future very similar to Salamangreats of maybe a Link monster to get back something from your graveyard. Again, very similar to Salamangreats to keep recycling your stuff. And that might be the same with Evil Eyes. Anyway, so normal summon the core, I guess, but as you saw, I think I top decked the Compulse. The Compulse is very solid. If you, at least, if you have like, at least, yeah, you can only activate your themed, your Evil Eye Compulse if you control an Evil Eye monster, bounce back something to the hands, but as soon as you control your Celine equip spell, you can bounce back up to 2 monsters, so quite good, definitely very solid, especially against something like Thunder Dragons. Bypassing there, this will prevent them from being destroyed, right, their effect. So the archetype is quite hopeful. The deck definitely needs work, right? But it was all for testing. Not really a huge fan of Hidden Armory since, of course, you're sacrificing your normal summon, so I don't think it has a place yet. It might be, depending on, well, maybe this archetype is getting a barrage that might trigger, you know, the other or better, yeah, Evil Eye monsters. But the extra deck for now, I feel it's not that important, but solemn cards, I don't think you want to main deck those. The life points cost is just too high. You definitely don't want to use that. Swords of Concealing Light might be good. They also have an in-themed Galaxy Cyclone. Not really sure if I want to main deck more copies of that. So again, like always, feel free to leave your suggestions. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.